Hey everybody, this is Jim McKenna from Facilis Technology, another video snippet on the new 8.1 feature set. In this one we're going to be talking about something I think is really cool. It's the ability to lock file types and also apply delete protection. So locking of file types simply means, you're not going to allow anyone to delete those, but if you do decide to let certain people delete certain files or really anything in the system, we can also give you a way so that those files aren't actually deleted. They're sent away to another location when you can then pick them up and restore them if you need to. But in this first example, we're going to take MXF files and protect them. So you cannot delete those certain files from either the entire volume or from certain locations on the volume, and either for everybody or for certain users or groups that you may not trust as much. First, let's go over the overview a little bit in case you haven't seen this yet. Policies are part of the new Smart Access Rules feature set. They are applied to volumes. The rules within the policies are applied to users and groups. Policies are just groups of rules. And the rules are laid out in the policies in order, and they're just going to be run in order. And if you don't, want to deal with having rules inside of groups running in order, just have one rule per policy, and just have policies that you can apply. And I'll show you that in a moment, how we do that to this certain volume. If it sounds complicated to you and you're already a Facilis user that loves the idea of the basic permission set that we have, where it's read-only, read-write, or no access on a per-volume basis, keep doing that in 8.1, no problem. But if you want to get into a little bit more granular aspect of file and folder permissioning or access rules, and you don't, you want to have one volume that contains multiple projects, or make use of any of the other cool features in 8.1 Smart Access Rules, then it's an optional thing. You can just add policies to a volume that you already have accessible through read-write access for multiple users, and all of a sudden, different things will happen depending on what you want to do. But completely optional. Keep using it the same way if you want to. We just think you really like the new stuff that's out in 8.1. So to start here, let's go into what we have. So this is an Avid project. I'll be starting with Avid because Avid's a bit unique in the way that you can actually delete media files from the interface of the system. And unlike Adobe and some others, that you'll just be deleting the links within the metadata of the project. You can actually delete the media files, the MXFs in this case, within the Avid itself. So let's go into my admin web interface here on the Mac. And this BrandStar volume here contains two policies. It contains a bunch of permissions. As you can see, the permissions are local and desktop users. A local user is a member of the local user list. A desktop user is just how you're logging into the OS on the desktop. There's two different ways to permission people that way, besides, of course, Active Directory and Open Directory and LDAP and things like that. But these are the normal permissions that I have to mount the volume in the first place with full access. Now, on top of that, I can add policies, and the first policy I'd add is a baseline policy. Think of this as, I'm adding policies now, so the first thing I have to do is tell the policy engine that everyone has full access. So basically it says add everyone as the principal here, just everyone. And there are certain ways to go about this where you don't have to have a baseline. You can start off with just a policy, but think about the fact that it'll exclude everybody else that's not in the baseline. The certain things to think about. So I think that the baseline policy is a good one to start with. And then it's just read, write, delete. You have access to read, write, delete for everyone. That's the baseline. Then you start removing things. So the MXF protect is what we're going to be removing, or the ability to delete MXF files is what we're removing in this case. So I have one rule. You can have multiple rules in the policy, but I just decided that makes it a lot cleaner for me if I can have just a policy with one rule and just add the policies into the volume and make it really simple to see what I have, not have to go into the policy to see the rules. So on this one, I said just the promos group. The promos group are the ones that are working on the project, but they may not be as sensitive to what needs to be kept and what doesn't need to be kept. So I'm going to just keep them from deleting any MXF files. And this is it says path, but I'm actually using an extension here, and I can use a path in extension, wildcards, and all kinds of stuff to get to exactly what I want to protect. But in this case, I just don't want anyone deleting any MXFs on this entire volume. So I'm going to take the promos group and take that permission away from them, that access away from them. So that's on there. And now, of course, I have the volume mounted through my client console, and the client console is mounting it with read-write permission, and I'm logged in as a user, Jim, who is in the promos group. And the promos group is, of course, kept from deleting any MXF files. So from here, I can do my normal thing. I can create new files, I can render, I can digitize if anyone still does that, I can import, I can do all kinds of things like that. And then when it comes time for someone to start cleaning up, we don't have to worry about them making a mistake. Because, you know, with Avid, of course, you can highlight any of these files, and this is just an example of the older, you know, Facilis units that we have, a few years old, and it's in this video, and so we'll use that as our sort of head frame, and we'll go and check out, you know, the media files folder in a minute and see if it's still there after I delete it. So I'm going to hit delete, and you may just want to do this, but sometimes you hit the associated media files as well, and it says, are you sure you want to do that? And you say, yep, sure, go ahead. So what I see here is that this went away. So that one, not the one I intended to go away, but the one I selected did go away, and you see that there's now only sort of 1, 2, and 3 clips left that are actually online. So let's go to the media files folder itself. Oh, well, something just happened. It just got bigger because they didn't actually delete. So what happens is it sort of goes away for a second and then comes back because of the fact that, you know, if you put a delete or no delete access control on a location and an application tries to delete something and you give it an error back, it can really mess up the application. It says, I don't know what's going on here, I'm going to just crash. You know, so instead of doing that, we let the application think it deleted it because that's smarter to let you keep working, but we don't actually delete it. So what we do here is, okay, the Avid thinks it's offline, the Avid thinks it's gone, but it's not. So all we need to do here is just make the Avid look again and say, you know, is it still there? Hey, look, it came back. So it was always there. It never left. And that is a security boundary that we put in place on MXF files for this particular purpose. Someone going in there and deleting something they shouldn't have and, you know, going along their merry way thinking they deleted it, and somebody else comes in and says, hey, that shot there's only one of them. So, you know, it was still there and you didn't have to worry about it. So that's that part of it. And I want to get into delete protection a little bit, and how we can allow people to delete things and actually remove those things from their location in the file system, but they don't actually go away. So for that, I'll have to go and change the policies on the volume. So let's get into my admin console here. So MXF protect is still there, which to me, in the policy that I made, says it can't be deleted. It can't be moved or deleted from its current location. And that's what deletion means in this case, is I can't even move. I can't accidentally move the media files out. I can't delete the media files folder. I can't do anything like that because there are files within it that can't be moved or deleted from their current location. But I'm going to change that. So I'm going to first of all remove the policy, and then I'm going to add a different policy. The one I'm going to add is going to be called, let's see, undelete MXF. Now this policy is a bit different. This just says that everyone can delete MXFs, but they are in the undelete mode, which means they move to a different location once they're deleted, but they are removed from their current location. So it looks to the user like they have deleted them. So let's go ahead and save that, and we're going to go back here again. I'm going to go back into my project and open this up. There's me, and I'm going to then delete me and media files as well. So that's going to go away. Delete everything. Yep, go ahead. So that's offline. Now that is actually gone from the folder, and then it won't be coming back anytime soon until I do that. Until I do it manually, potentially. But let's go into the volume itself and see what's happened here. So you see my list is now shorter than it was before because I just deleted some files. They're not coming back. And that's it. As a user, I don't see anything else here. So let's go to the server and see where those files went. So I have made this server and the deleted files folder on this server. Let's see, it is called Brandstar. So here's the deleted files folder. I've made it invisible. You can do that if you choose, and the deleted files folder won't show up on the desktops of the users. It's not really a security boundary. This is just a way to keep it away from people you may not want to see it. Works pretty well, but it's not really meant to be a hard security boundary. No delete is a hard security boundary. Undelete is just a nice thing to have. It's like a recycle bin. If you have a recycle bin, you can still go into the recycle bin and delete it as a user, and it's gone. But if I go into deleted files here and I go into Avid Media Files, MXF, there's my Mac Pro 2019 where I created those files, and there they are. So if I want to take those and bring them back, I can do that. Simply go back into my brand star, media files, MXF, yada yada, and paste them into there. Go back to my client. I'll probably have to, let's see if it does this automatically for me. Nope, let's go ahead and do a change, sorry, a trash of the PMR and MMOB. Delete those and come back in here, and bing, there it is. So undelete, different than no delete. No delete is you can't even move it from its current location. It will not be moved from its current location. In the previous snippet, you saw that I can do that to project folders, but still maintain project saves and overwrites at the same time. In this case, as I did it on a file type, it's really for the purpose of people not being able to delete that or move it from a current location. Undelete is different. Undelete is you can delete it from its current location or move it from its current location, really, to a different location on the same drive, and then on the same volume, and then the administrator can come in and decide what to do with it later. So those are those two things I wanted to get to you in this little short snippet. Hope you enjoyed that. Look out for more coming along. And you'll see how 8.1 has become a very powerful access control rules, smart access rules feature for Facilis and our customers. Thank you.